Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 8th of July 2022. So let us quickly see the articles that are important from today's newspaper. So these are the articles that I have listed today for that are important. Okay. So the first article is related to seasonality or monsoon. So we are going to understand that monsoons are getting hotter than summer. So it was found out, during an study, and this article is important under environment and ecology. So we are going to understand about how monsoons are changing and how the temperature is changing along with the different seasons like summer season, monsoon season and all. The next topic is related to ecological sensitive zones. And so recently what has happened, the Kerala Assembly, okay, so Kerala Assembly has passed unanimous resolution on ecologically sensitive zone or eco-sensitive zone. So we are going to understand about what are eco-sensitive zone and what was the need for the Kerala government to pass such a legislation, right? So this topic is important under environment and ecology. After this we are going to look into the third topic. This topic is also relevant from environment and ecology perspective, and this topic says Odisha Ice Forest Act implementation by 2024. Okay, so Odisha state government is looking for all ways so that they can implement the Forest Rights Act, okay, by the year of 2024 in letter and spirit. So we are going to understand about what is Forest Rights Act, what are the different kinds of rights that the Forest Rights Act confers to the forest dwellers and other people, okay, and the communities at large. So this topic is important under environment and ecology for prelims and also for GS paper 3 of the mains exam. After this we are going to look into topic number 4. It says Center to promote dragon fruit cultivation. Okay, so here see such topics like dragon fruit. So these topics are important for the prelims exam because once in a while UPSC asks question where question seems to be from very odd topics, but the thing is these topics are relevant from one or other point of view. Okay, so in this article we are going to understand about what is dragon fruit, where it is cultivated currently, and why the central government has taken a stand that it is going to promote the cultivation of dragon fruit. Okay, so this is important under health. Okay, and it is important for the prelims exam and also for GS paper 3 mains. Okay, so we are going to understand about what are the health health related benefits that a person gets if he or she consumes dragon fruit. Okay, so this is especially beneficial for people having high diabetes. Okay, so we are going to understand about that. And after that we are going to look into an article that says just fine. Okay, just fine. So we are going to understand about, just fine means it is not that fine, it is the fine that is imposed on some criminals. Okay, so we are going to understand about some environmental legislations where there are provisions of fine along with imprisonment. We are going to understand about the quantum of imprisonment or fine related to some environmental some environmental acts by people. Acts means some crimes related to the environment. So recently some judgment came from courts of law where they have mentioned about fine and other things. So we are going to talk about the pendency of cases in courts in India, and we are going to understand about how to expedite the process of delivery of justice, right, through this article. So this is important under environment and ecology, and also important from the viewpoint of social justice under GS paper 2. So let us quickly look into these topics one by one, and we are going to understand them in detail. Okay, so today's discussion is going to be very interesting and very important, okay, for your paper. So monsoons getting hotter than summer, that was found out during a study, and that study was conducted by Center for Science and Environment. So let us understand the role of Center for Science and Environment. So Center for Science and Environment is a public research organization that does research related to environmental matter and that are important for the public at large. You might have read the magazines like Down to Earth, etc. Okay, so Down to Earth is a publication of the Center for Science and Environment. So the kind of research that it does largely impacts, you know, like huge number of people, because like it is an advocacy organization that actually, you know, works for the welfare of the environment, you know, for the people of like India and you know, like global public at large. So let us understand about like what does this study convey. This study conveys that, you know, during the monsoon season, it is expected that the temperature will be lower as compared to the summer season. But like we are seeing some, you know, reversal in the trend. Nowadays it is being witnessed that during the monsoon season the temperatures are much higher than the summer season, and it varies from region to region. For example, if we talk about northern states, right, in the northern states of India the temperatures are still very high as compared to the, you know, average temperature throughout India. So like, you know, the monsoon season temperature is getting hotter than the summer season. It you know, predicts some kind of, you know, changes in the nature of, you know, how the temperature is varying in Indian territory, right. So this is a very important study. Like recently we have also witnessed that the temperatures are very high, although rainfall is happening, right, although rainfall is happening, but the temperature is really high. It is much higher than the summer temperatures. So now we are going to understand about associated issues with, you know, high temperature. So when we talk about high temperature, it is also associated with heat waves, right. Heat waves are some like, you know, environmental conditions where the temperatures are very high, like, you know, people find it very difficult to stay or you know, during these times, and we have witnessed huge number of people, you know, dying because of heat waves, right. So this particular study has also highlighted that huge number of people are dying because of heat waves in different regions in India. Alright. So in Tamil Nadu itself, like if we talk about southern region, in Tamil Nadu itself, out of the total number of fatalities or out of the total number of death that is happening because of this thing, like, you know, heat waves, half of the deaths are happening in the Tamil Nadu region itself, right. But this year it is witnessed that, like, you know, Delhi, Haryana, Chandigarh, Punjab, etc., right, in these regions, right, we have witnessed a huge increase in the temperature during this, you know, during the monsoon season as well. So let us see, I mean, like, let us see. So the here this particular article says that the monsoon has usually meant respite from the heat, means like we expect that during the monsoon season we are going to witness some relief from the heat, because the temperature during monsoon season is generally lower, right. But what has happened, but temperature during these months like June to September are seeing a rise. So now we are seeing a reversal in the trend. We are seeing the temperatures are going high, you know, from June to September as well. At an all India level, the average temperature during the season are 0.3 degrees Celsius higher than the average summer temperature, which is March to May, when compared from 1951 to 1980. In the past decade, 2012 to 21, this anomaly has risen to 0.4 degrees Celsius. Okay, so now we have understood that, like, you know, there is some changes in the seasonality. During like monsoon season, we are witnessing much higher temperature as compared to summer season temperatures. Okay, the increase in these two seasons are 0.79 degrees and 0.58 degrees respectively, whereas summer temperatures has risen only to 0.49 degrees. This year India saw a record pre-monsoon temperature in northern and western regions in the absence of rain. Okay, so now we have seen a record, you know, rise in temperature in the northern region of India as well as in the western regions. Western region, for example, you know, Haryana, Rajasthan, and like, you know, these states okay. So in these places we are seeing like very high temperature. Now let us understand about some you know, minute nuances associated with this. So they are saying the average daily maximum temperature for March to April for Chandigarh, Delhi, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, as per IMD, IMD stands for India Meteorological Department. Okay, IMD stands for India Meteorological Department. So this particular department is responsible for predicting the monsoons in India, for predicting the seasonal changes in the temperature, rainfall and associated environmental matters. All right. So according to India Meteorological Department, we have seen very high temperature during the month from March to April in these regions. Okay. And so it was almost 4 degrees Celsius above normal compared to its baseline of 1981 to 2010. So this is almost twice as much as anomaly observed at an all India level, as it holds true for even average daily minimum, daily mean and land surface temperatures. Okay, the CAC noted. CAC means Center for Science and Environment. It is an apex organization that does research and advocacy related to environmental matters in public interest. Okay, so this is a non-profit organization, we can say, but its publication is highly regarded, that they publish the reports that that has huge relevance with the environmental changing environmental conditions in India. So let us talk about the heat wave deaths. Okay, these numbers had a bearing on heat wave deaths. So from 2015 to 2020, okay, so during these 5 years, 2,137 people had reportedly died of heat stroke in the states of Northwest, but the Southern Peninsula region had reported 2,444 deaths due to excess environmental heat, with Andhra Pradesh along accounting for over the half of the reported casualties. Means Andhra Pradesh itself has witnessed more than half of the total casualties in the southern region, according to this report. So Delhi reported only 1 death for the period, and most deaths have been reported among working age men. I mean mostly which people are dying? The people who are in the working age group, from the age of 30 years to 60 years age group. So majority of the deaths are in people of this particular group. So this is all related to this article. So this article gives us a picture that we are seeing a changing in the pattern how the temperature variation happens in Indian subcontinent or in India, right? So with this, let us look into another topic, another article. So here we are going to understand about another topic. It says Kerala Assembly passes a unanimous resolution on eco-sensitive zones. Okay, so it calls for legislation to help overcome Supreme Court directive. Now let us understand what is the case all about. Okay, so we know Kerala is a region, I mean which is very much, I mean a healthy region when we talk about environmental conditions there. So majority of the portion in Kerala comes under Western Ghat region. Okay, more than half of the region of Kerala comes under Western Ghat. So what happens, we have seen different committees reports, for example Gadgil committee report, Kasturi Rangan report. So multiple commissions and committees have been set up in the past to look into the fragilities that these regions have. So majority of the region of Kerala comes under eco-sensitive zone according to the Gadgil commission report. So soon after Gadgil commission has given its report in 2008, after then what has happened, 2008 or 2012, you need to check the detail. Okay, after then what has happened, Supreme Court has also directed that those areas that are ecologically sensitive zone, either they are coming under category 1 or category 2 or category 3, these regions must be protected. These regions must be protected in such a manner that human interference must be avoided in those regions. But if we talk about interest of the political groups over there, interest of the developers, interest of the people there, so they are also looking for development. I mean they want to go ahead with the development prospects in that region. But development not only happens in unison. The development is also associated with some of the conditions for the environment. What are those conditions? The development is actually hampering the environmental conditions in that region. So time and again the National Green Tribunal or the Supreme Court of India or the central government of India have taken a stand or taken a view related to safeguarding the ecological sensitivities in that particular region. Now what has happened, the Kerala government, Kerala Assembly, they are pro development. They are going for, they want that more development should happen in this particular region. So because of this particular thing, they have passed a unilateral legislation. Okay, they have passed a resolution unilaterally. Okay, they have passed a resolution unanimously. Unanimously means like everybody in the room, they have accepted this particular legislation. Unanimous means everybody is agreeing to a particular kind of legislation. Okay, so according to this unanimous legislations, they want some exemptions, they want some relief from the existing ecological sensitive zone notifications. Okay, they want some relief from it. And so let us understand about like what does this particular resolution talk about. We have understood why they have come up with the resolution. Now we will talk about what is this resolution all about. So the Kerala Assembly on Thursday unanimously passed a resolution urging the centre to exempt the state from declaring eco-sensitive zones of 1 kilometer around wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Okay. Now they are saying that there are regions there are regions that are protected areas. Okay, protected areas like wildlife sanctuaries, national parks. So let's consider this is a particular wildlife sanctuary. Okay, wildlife sanctuary. So they have passed a resolution, and in that resolution they have urged, they have pleaded the central government that the central government should allow the state government for exemption in declaring eco-sensitive zone 1 kilometer around. Okay, so just 1 kilometer. Okay, let's consider this is 1 kilometer. So beyond 1 kilometer they want exemption, that these regions may be exempted from the category of ecological sensitive zones. Okay, so this is what the resolution all about. The resolution is the state government has urged the central government that they should allow some relaxation, so that just beyond 1 kilometer they can declare these areas to be exempt, these areas to be outside the purview of ecological sensitive zone. Okay, so it also called for legislation that could enable the state to overcome the Supreme Court directives in this regard. State Forest Minister, we are not going to talk about a particular person, we are going to understand the issue at hand. Okay, so according to him, the inclusion of such areas within the notified zone is bound to affect large sections of the state where forest constitutes nearly 30% of the entire geographical area. Moreover, the Western Ghats region in Kerala is spread across 48% of total area. The state, which is blessed with numerous wetlands, is also densely populated at nearly 900 people per square kilometer and has been witnessing a dwindling space for habitation. Okay, so now these people, these legislators, they want to safeguard the interest of the people as well. Okay, so that's why they have passed a unanimous resolution in that regard. So with this, now let us look into another topic. This is topic number 3 for the day, and we are going to understand this topic in detail. So it says, okay, it says Odisha Eyes Forest Act implementation by 2024. Target is to have 587 revenue villages. Okay, now let us understand about Forest Rights Act. Okay, if we talk about Forest Rights Act, this is an act that was enacted in the year of 2006. Okay, so if we talk about the Forest Rights Act, under Forest Rights Act, rights are granted to the forest dwellers. Okay, forest dwellers means people who are living in the forest area. Their communities, their families, they are given special rights to utilize the product of the forest. They can take minor forest produce from the forest. Okay, they can also utilize some of the products that are derived from the forest directly. Okay, so Forest Rights Act confers right on the individuals, right on the families, right on the communities that are dwelling, that are living in the forest areas. So now the Odisha government, what is the standpoint of Odisha government? The Odisha government wants to implement the Forest Rights Act in letter and spirit by the year 2024. It is now 2022, we are in the month of July. Just after 2 years, they want to completely implement the Forest Rights Act in the state, okay. And by implementing the Forest Rights Act in the state, they are going to give rights to the people who are dwelling in the forest, okay. So what is important for us, we need to understand about the Forest Rights Act in detail and under which ministry this Forest Rights Act is being administered by, okay. The Forest Rights Act, you know, is under the purview of the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, okay. It is also known as MOTA, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, okay. So now let us understand about, you know, so we have understood what is Forest Rights Act, what are the rights that are conferred or granted by the Forest Rights Act. Now let us understand what is the interest of the state government, what is the interest of Odisha state government. See, like if we talk about Odisha state, right, state of Odisha, so Odisha state has huge number of natural, I mean, like, you know, they have natural resources, right, they have abundance of natural resources in terms of coal, in terms of, you know, other raw materials, they have huge, you know, forest covered area, okay. So they are abound, they are prosperous with the you know, natural resources, but having natural resources did not, you know, did not give any kind of benefit to the people who have been conserving the forest, who have been conserving the natural resources. The people in Odisha, majority of the people are under, you know, like are poor. So they are in one or other category of poverty. So many people are, you know, like going hungry, they are poor and all. So now the state government wants to protect the right of the people of Odisha, okay. So that's why they want to protect the right of the tribal people as well. Tribal means those tribes who are dwelling in the forest, okay. So the tribal people, they have that inherited rights, that like since they are the forest dwellers, they should be given the proper rights so that they can utilize the resources that are derived from the forest, okay, in like, you know, Odisha. So the Odisha government is chasing an ambitious target of completing implementation of the Forest Rights Act by granting all kinds of rights mandated under the Historic Act by 2024. Addressing a national consultation on potential of Forest Rights Act in the context of tribal development, implementation gaps and way forward, okay. So like there was a consultation on this particular matter that I have highlighted in yellow color. It says potential of Forest Rights Act in the context of tribal development, implementation gaps and way forward, okay. So the Odisha's ST and SC Development Secretary, okay, ST means scheduled tribe, then scheduled caste, okay. So its development secretary, he said, we are confident enough to launch mission 2024 for Forest Rights Act, where we are committing ourselves to saturate the state of Odisha by granting all kinds of forest rights, whether it is individual, community or habitat rights. All tribals will be granted their rightful ownership. The mission is under scrutiny by the Finance Department and the Planning and Convergence Department. I think we would soon be able to launch the ambitious program. By 2024, we would be able to achieve the mandate given to the state government under the Forest Rights Act, okay. So this is the thing. Now what is the pretext of the state government? They want to safeguard the rights of the scheduled tribe, scheduled caste, whether it is individual right, whether it is community right or whether it is habitat right. Habitat right means right to reside in the forest, right to stay in the forest, okay. And these rights are granted to the, you know, SC and ST people as per this article. And now the secretary, the concerned secretary, he have also highlighted that they are going to digitize the record. Digitize means they are going to, I mean, like, you know, save these records in a digital format, okay, so that like the digital records are accessible at all times, okay. So all old records of right, okay, land pattas have been digitized and future pattas would also be digitized. A dedicated website has been hosted to keep all records. The whole process of demarcation of land and reaching out to the citizen have been facilitated by non-government organization partners. Okay, so now they have also partnered with NGOs in this regard, and they are, I mean, like, you know, turning the physical papers into digital format. Okay, so this is related to Forest Rights Act. Yes, right. So with this, now let us look into another topic. This is the next topic for the day. Here it says Center to Promote Dragon Fruit Cultivation. Now, the dragon fruit, I mean, like, this is a fruit that is eatable, like which is you know, eaten up by people. Okay, so this is the image of the dragon fruit. This is the image of the dragon fruit, and this dragon fruit is very helpful for your health. Okay, especially for people having diabetic conditions. Okay, so it is very healthy for the diabetes patients, and not only for diabetes patient, it is also healthy for normal people. Okay, so as of now, if we talk about, you know, dragon fruit, so dragon fruit is being cultivated in a very limited area in India, and mostly cultivated in the western states like Haryana and Rajasthan. Okay, so the cultivable land, you know, for dragon fruit is very low. Means like cultivable means as of now we are cultivating at a very lower you know, area, so that is giving lesser output. Okay, that's why the market price of dragon fruit is high. As of now, like, if you go to the local markets where it is produced, you will find dragon fruits to be at about 400 rupees per kg. Okay, so this is the price of dragon fruit. But if we talk about the potential of dragon fruit, since like it is a very healthy food, in this article we are going to understand about what are the health benefits of eating dragon fruit. Okay, it is a very healthy fruit. So after understanding this particular article, so we will be understanding about health benefit, and at the same time we will understand about why the central government wants to increase the, you know, production of dragon fruit. So if we talk about dragon fruit, on one hand it is beneficial for the consumers. On the other hand, it is also beneficial for the producers, because the dragon fruit is, you know, being sold at an expensive rate in the market, 400 rupees per kg, and demand is always higher than the available quantity of dragon fruit. Okay, so as of now it is mostly consumed by diabetic patients or like other people who are aware, like who are aware for their health standards and all. But like with increasing productivity, like if government, you know, like as of now, the government of Rajasthan, government of Haryana, they have been, I mean, promoting the dragon fruit. Even like one of the state government has renamed, okay, the Gujarat government. The Gujarat government has renamed the dragon fruit as Kamalam. Okay, Kamal means lotus. Okay, so they have renamed the dragon fruit as Kamalam. So this is the thing. Now the central government wants that this particular fruit, okay, should be promoted, so that like many people, I mean more number of people adopts the cultivation practice of dragon fruit. Okay, so it will lead to more productivity, it will lead to more production volumes of dragon fruit. When the production you know, production goes up, availability of the fruit will go up, and like market price of the fruit will go down. Okay, so with the, you know, higher productivity, higher production, the producers are going to get benefited, and at the same time the consumers are also going to get benefited, because they will have the option to, you know, eat the healthy fruit at a very, I mean, like nominal cost. Okay, so this is the thing. Now if we talk about this particular fruit, so it is considered as super fruit for its health benefit. Okay, at present this exotic fruit is cultivated in 300 hectares. The plan is to increase the cultivation to 50,000 hectares in the next 5 years. This particular fruit is considered good for diabetic patients, and it is low in calories, high in nutrients like iron, calcium, potassium and zinc. So this is the thing, I mean, like this particular fruit has a lot of benefits. So along with this, let us also understand some more benefits that is associated with this particular fruit. So here, you know, it is going to be a win-win situation. Why win-win situation? Because like when we talk about 50,000 hectares, okay, 50,000 hectares in 5 years is an achievable target. The demand for fruit will remain, prices for farmers will also be good. The benefit is that this fruit can be cultivated in degraded and rain-fed land. Okay, So what is happening, the farmers are going to get benefited, the consumers are going to get benefited, so it is a win-win situation for both the parties, okay. And the central government is going to, I mean like, going to like focus on more productivity of this particular, fruit through a mission that is known as Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, okay. Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, which is in short known as MIDH, okay. So the center also provide a specific target based help to states and farmers under this particular mission, okay. So its cultivation will be beneficial for farmers and consumers, so it is a win-win situation. And according to authorities, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, which is also known as ICAR, the fruit plant doesn't need much water and can be cultivated on dry land, okay. So this particular fruit plant, it does not require much water, it requires very less water and it can be cultivated in dry land, okay. So this is going to be a beneficial thing. And Horticulture Commissioner, I mean like, so we don't have to look into the prices as of now. The market price is about 400 rupees per kg for the dragon fruit, okay. So in near future, in the next 5 years, when the production area goes up, the productivity will go up, and along with this the market price of the fruit will go down, because the demand will exist. With this, let us look into another topic. This topic says just fine, okay, just fine. Justice for environmental crimes must be dispensed quickly and equitably, okay. So this article essentially talks about environmental crimes. So if we talk about our statute book, okay, so like there are multiple, I mean like there are multiple crimes that are listed, okay. One of the category of crime is environmental crime. When, let's consider, someone is cutting off trees without prior permission, okay, cutting off trees from designated areas, from forest lands or from protected areas, so that will be considered as an environmental crime. So environmental crimes are of different nature. Some of the crimes are minute crimes, some of the crimes are grave crimes, okay. So as of now, under the statute books, all the crimes are listed over there. But when it comes to justice delivery, when it comes to hearing the cases related to environmental crimes, the courts have taken years, means like they have taken 7 years to 33 years to dispense of any single case. So as of now, the pendency of court cases is very high related to environmental matters. So that's why the central government wants that, like they should they want to relax some of the norms for environmental crimes, so that justice delivery can be speedier, okay, so that the courts can deliver the justice at a very faster pace, okay. For this purpose, they are going to relax some of the norms related to environmental crimes. Like if we talk about many countries, like if we talk about foreign countries, in foreign countries many environmental crimes are associated with just fine. Just fine means people are fined, I mean like, let's consider, for this particular quantum of crime you will be fined this much, for this quantum of crime you will be fined that much. But in India, we do have statute books that are that talks about not only fining but also imprisonment, okay. People are fined and they are awarded imprisonment. So in this statute book it is mentioned, like they will be fined or imprisoned or both, like that in this language, okay. So the imprisonment can go up to 5 years, or fine can go up to 1 lakh rupees, but like that imprisonment quantum can extend up to like lifetime as well, related to environmental crimes. So now the central government has taken a step that they want to relax some of the norms, they want to make it easier for the judges to dispense of cases at a faster rate related to environmental crimes, okay. So the Union Environment Ministry, tasked with safeguarding India's forest and its environmental assets, proposes to amend sections of key environmental legislation and make them less threatening to potential violators. India has 8 cornerstone pieces of legislation that define a regulatory framework to ensure that natural resources are not wantonly exploited, acts of pollution are apprehended, and there is a mechanism to punish and deter violators. Under provisions in the existing legislation, violators are punishable with imprisonment up to 5 years or a fine up to 1 lakh rupees or both, okay. So you know, there is also a provision for jail terms to extend up to 7 years. So now here we have understood like what is the main important thing in this article. The main important thing is like, you know, the proposed amendments, okay, according to the proposed amendments, the ministry wants to weed out fear of imprisonment for simple violations, okay. These penalties would be decided by an adjudication officer and transferred to an environmental protection fund, okay. So now the, you know, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they want to appoint they want to appoint adjudication officers related to, I mean, like, you know, environmental crimes, and whatever funds are aggregated, I mean, like, you know, from the violators of environmental norm, these funds will be transferred to Environment Protection Fund, okay. So this Environment Protection Fund is also a very important clause under this particular, you know, proposed amendments, okay. They are going to create Environment Protection Fund.
They are going to be life imprisonment, more than like thousands of people. So their families is going to be suffering with
right.
crime also.
Right. The question of whether threat of imprisonment acts as a deterrent has a long history with both proponents and opponents, okay. So research on environmental crime in the United States and Europe suggests that fining is the most common mode of punishment, okay. And Indian courts also took between 9 to 33 years to clear backlog of cases for environmental violations. Starting with 2018, close to 45,000 cases were pending for trial, and another 35,000 cases were added in that year, okay. So this is the thing, the main crux is like, you know, they want to clear the pendency of the court cases. So that's why they want to, I mean, like, you know, dispense of cases with just fine. So that's why they have named this article as just fine, okay.
But a person has been sent to jail 40 years of due to sandalwood labor work to cutting of trees. He charged on the 45 years, but 45 or 50 years. Then the case has been run more than 30 years. What about the person lives?
Many a times like people die in jail also.
That is a facing in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh with
Right.
people. So they are going to be dying in jail.
Right.
Also.
Alright, so this is the thing. Now the threat of imprisonment might have acted as a deterrent in India, where effectiveness of environment regulation is under par. Okay, justice for environmental crimes must be dispensed quickly and equitably before tinkering with the law to make it less, foreboding. Okay, so this is all, means like in this article, we have understood about the importance of dispensing of cases by the courts of law, so that pendency of the cases can be reduced, so that like people are not unnecessarily suffering for more than like what the person must have actually served the sentences. So under trial people, they are in jail. If they are in jail, I mean trial is already happening, okay. This punishment has yet not been aborted, but people, I mean under trial people are also in jail. So many cases are there like this. So we need to see how this particular case turns up in the near future. Like what kind of amendments does the government propose through the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Okay, so all of it is going to be seen soon. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a great day ahead. Thank you.